Hi there, this is Sean Donahoe, the Manic Marketer, and in today's video we're going to look at how you can avoid duplicate content and really maximize your search engine rankings on the search engines like Google, Bing, and Yahoo. Well, first of all, let's do a little myth busting here, and I want to talk about the duplicate content penalty myth. Now, there's a lot of myths surrounding duplicate content penalties, and it's all relating to Google. Now, first, I want to really bust the misconception about this. Now, if you look here at this link, and I'll probably try and post this in the description here, this is the official post from Google about the duplicate content, and that there really isn't a duplicate content penalty, although there is a problem with duplicate content internally from your search engines and stuff like that. Now, a lot of the same content on different versions of your domains can hurt your rankings because, duplicate content is seen as either, if you do it too much, if there's too much duplication, is seen as hurting or trying to trick the search engines. We don't want to do that because that can hurt you. However, same content on different versions of your domains may get listed and may not be correctly optimized as far as the search engines are concerned. So what we want to try and do, is minimize that where possible. And, just to use an example here, search engine friendly URLs versus dynamic database generated content is one of the largest factors and common areas of duplicate content. This is particularly important when it comes to things like content management systems and e-commerce stores, where, for example, if you have a page that has a nice kind of clean URL and it shows, your green widgets, but it also has like a PHP version with a nice ID, with a very ugly ID and then all sorts of other parameters. Those two are treated as separate pages by the search engines, and obviously we want the nice clean URLs, not the long-winded numbered version, and we'll get into that in a little bit in a few moments, but that can hurt your general rankings. Also, another example is blog archives, which show one copy of your page, and then you've also got your main one showing in your categories and your tag archives, and that's lots of duplicate content. It's the same content but located at different URLs, and again, that can hurt your rankings because only one of those is actually going to show up in the search engines. So obviously we want the most focused, best one that performs for us showing up. So let's have a look at forcing only one type of URL for your site. Now, what do I mean by this? Search engines treat www.yourdomain.com and just yourdomain.com differently. Now, just to give an example here, on my site there below, you'll see I've got themanicmarketer.com. I don't actually have www in front of it, and if you approach or go to my website, and you can try this in your browser in a few moments. If you type in www.themanicmarketer.com, I actually redirect you to take the W's out because I don't want two versions of my website showing up in the search engines and getting the search engines confused. So to do that, what I do is I use a 301 redirect to force non-WWs to www and vice versa. Now, most often people want the WWs in front of their domain. I've actually got a technical reason with one of my scripts I run that doesn't like www, so that's why I take it out. But to do the normal way, which is non-WWs to wwws, if you're keeping up with me here, you really want to make sure that you can redirect. And 301 redirect basically means the version of the website with no W's doesn't exist. You need to go here, and that's the permanent address. And that tells the search engines to ignore everything else except the ones with the W's in front of the domain. Now, to do that, you can actually put this in your htaccess file. Now, there's a lot of text here, and you can copy this off here, or you can find another copy. There's plenty of places on the web that show how to do this. But if you put this in there and swap out the where it says domain/.com, you change that to your domains, and that will automatically wipe out a lot of your possible duplicate content issues. Now, I know this is a bit technical. If you're not used to this, or if you're not sure what this is, then go ahead and have a webmaster go ahead and do that for you. Next, you can also block off areas of your website with the robots.txt file. Now, this is a very clever little file that tells the search engine robots how to handle different parts of your site. Now, for example, if you use search engine friendly links like a lot of blogs do, you want to block off certain areas. For example, you don't want them to see the PHP part, so you can disallow the PHP extensions, and you can do this for lots of other areas as well. If you're running an ASP or CGI or Perl, you can again block off those extensions from showing up in the search engines and have them prefer to see your SEF links. You can also block off entire directories in the same way. So for example, with WordPress, if I didn't want them to look at my tag archives, or actually my archives or anything like that, I can disallow entire folders and block them from being indexed. You can also, which is a really, really cool thing that most people overlook, you can also put your sitemap or link to your link to your XML sitemap in your robots.txt. You just use that line I'm showing here. And you obviously would change example.com to whatever yours is, and the path to your XML sitemap to whatever the actual path is. But this lets every search engine that comes to your website know exactly where your sitemap is, and it helps with search engine ranking as well. Now, the other cool thing with that is that your sitemap should have the real versions of the pages that you want indexed without all of the duplicates. So it automatically tells the search engines, hey, these are the pages I want you to index, and you might discover other ones along the way, but these are the primary ones. And if you craft your htaccess file right and your robots.txt right, you can block off the areas you don't want them to see. So that's two very, very powerful ways to eliminate duplicate content. And again, these are a little technical, so if you're not technically minded yourself and you're not kind of all geeked out like I tend to be, get your webmaster or someone who knows how to do this to help you with this. And you can either hire someone, you maybe already have someone, or you can get a freelancer to do it from somewhere like elance.com or what have you. Next, you can actually use search engine control panels to help you eliminate duplicate content. For example, Google's Webmaster Tools can help you minimize these problems, and they have a great little control panel where you can actually go in and either de-index or request the de-index of specific pages that might be showing up and may be causing you problems, or you can de-index an entire website from there. I found this out with a website the other day that was causing a few issues, and they've certainly made it very easy for people like myself to go in there and sort out little problems. And both Microsoft Bing has a similar control panel, as does Yahoo Site Explorer. Lots of control panels out there for different search engines allow you to really fine-tune how these guys look at your website. And when people talk about duplicate content, obviously most people are focusing on Google because they have an 80% market share. So all the largest concerns are for duplicate content in Google, and as I said, you can manually remove any link you want through their control panel, and I encourage you to go ahead and do that. If you rather than waiting for them to de-index it, go ahead, jump in there, and go tell them to do it now. It makes life a lot easier, and any ranking issues you may have are relieved and fixed that much quickly. So if you correctly manage this, your rankings will increase. If you take all of these little tips into consideration, you really will help with your overall search engine positioning, your ranking, and your future growth as a business.